What if I told you that you're looking at a digital asset with the exact same scarcity as Bitcoin, but with a utility that is infinitely more valuable in the age of automation? Most people see Bitcoin as the ultimate hard money because of its 21 million supply cap. But while Bitcoin is digital gold, Bittensor's TAO is becoming digital brainpower. We are standing on the precipice of a massive supply shock. A perfect storm of tokenomics that could send TAO screaming past $1,000 and potentially much higher. Today we're moving past the hype and looking at the cold, hard math of why the available supply of TAO is disappearing faster than anyone realizes, and what happens when the world's largest exchanges finally open the floodgates. Is TAO just a better version of Bitcoin's scarcity, or are we witnessing the birth of a new financial apex predator? To understand the price potential of TAO, you have to start with the 21 million rule. Just like Bitcoin, there will never be more than 21 million TAO tokens. This hard cap is hard-coded into the protocol, ensuring that inflation isn't just controlled, it's destined to vanish. But here's where the Bitcoin playbook gets an upgrade. While Bitcoin mining secures a ledger, TAO mining secures intelligence. The TAO halving, just like Bitcoin's, cuts the daily issuance of new tokens in half. As of early 2026, the daily production has dropped from 7,200 TAO to just 3,600. This means the new supply hitting the market every day has been sliced through the middle. When you combine a fixed total supply with a rapidly diminishing daily supply, you create a vacuum. If demand for AI, the fastest growing industry in human history, simply stays the same, the price has to move up. But we know demand for AI isn't staying the same, it's exploding. If Bitcoin is a store of value, TAO is a store of the very intelligence that will run the future economy. Here is the statistic that nobody is talking about, the liquid supply. On paper there are millions of TAO in circulation, but in reality you can't buy most of them. Why? Because of this staking black hole. Currently, a staggering majority of the circulating supply, somewhere between 5.7 and 6 million tokens, is locked up in staking. In the Bittensor empire, you don't just hold TAO, you stake it to earn rewards and secure the subnets. When tokens are staked, they are effectively removed from the sell side of the order book. They aren't sitting on exchanges waiting to be dumped, they are working. This creates a massive supply shock. When a new institution or a whale wants to buy $100 million worth of TAO, they look at the exchanges and find almost nothing. When buyers fight over a tiny pool of available tokens, the price doesn't just go up, it teleports. We are looking at a market where 70% to 80% of the supply is off the table, leaving a microscopic amount of TAO for the rest of the world to fight over. What happens to a price tag when 1 million people show up to buy something that only has 1,000 units for sale? Unlike many AI tokens that are just shiny wrappers for marketing, TAO has a mechanical necessity. It is the literal fuel for decentralized GPU power and AI training. If you want to access the state-of-the-art models being built on Bittensor, whether for image generation, coding, or healthcare research, you need TAO. As more subnets launch, we've already crossed the 120 subnet mark. The demand for TAO to lock into these subnets increases. This isn't speculative demand, it's industrial demand. Companies and developers aren't buying TAO to moon it, they are buying it to use the network. This creates a floor for the price that Bitcoin simply doesn't have. Bitcoin relies on social consensus of value, Bittensor relies on the mathematical necessity of compute. This utility-driven scarcity is the secret sauce that makes a $1,000 price target look not just possible but conservative. Are you holding a speculative gem, or are you holding the keys to the world's first decentralized supercomputer? Finally, let's talk about the listing bounce. Despite its massive daily volume, often peaking at $400 million, TAO is still missing from some of the world's most accessible retail on-ramps. But with volume like that, a Coinbase listing isn't a maybe, it's an eventually. History shows us that when a high-utility, low-supply token hits a major exchange like Coinbase, the listing effect is explosive. It's not just about the hype, it's about the liquidity bridge. Suddenly, millions of retail investors who were too intimidated by DEXs or smaller exchanges can buy TAO with one click. When that retail wave hits the invisible wall of staked supply we talked about earlier, the result is a vertical price move. We've seen this script play out before, but never with a token that has the 21 million cap pedigree of TAO. $1,000 is the psychological milestone, but the supply math suggests that $2,000 or even $3,000 is the destination once the global retail market enters the fray. The fuse is lit, the supply is gone, and the world is just starting to wake up. Are you positioned for the shock? The math of Bittensor is simple, but the implications are world-changing. We are watching the intersection of the most scarce financial asset and the most valuable technological resource. If you want to stay ahead of the supply shocks and the institutional moves before they hit the headlines, you need to be part of this community. Hit that like button if you believe in the power of decentralized AI, and subscribe to the channel to get the latest blockchain insights delivered directly to your feed. Don't wait for the $1,000 headlines to start your research. Stay updated, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. What's your price target for TAO? Drop it in the comments below. Take full control of your crypto with Ledger Live. Manage thousands of coins and NFTs securely in one place. Buy, swap, stake, and grow your portfolio with ease. Trusted by 7+ million users, Ledger Live keeps your assets safe by integrating with Ledger hardware wallets for maximum security. Say goodbye to third-party risks and hello to true financial freedom. Download Ledger Live now. Click the link in the description to get started. Crypto taxes don't have to be a nightmare. Coinly calculates your taxes in under 20 minutes. No spreadsheets, no headaches. Sync your crypto assets with one click. Whether you're trading, staking, or using DeFi, import your trades, track your portfolio, and generate ready-to-file tax reports effortlessly. Join thousands who trust Coinly to simplify their crypto taxes. Make tax season stress-free. Click the link in the description to get started with Coinly today. The information contained herein is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing herein shall be construed to be financial, legal, investment, or tax advice. The content of this video is solely the opinions of the channel owner, who is not a licensed financial advisor or registered investment advisor. Trading cryptocurrencies poses a considerable risk of loss. Please use your best judgment when dealing with cryptocurrencies and don't invest money that you cannot afford to lose. The channel does not guarantee any particular outcome.